Emma was a young woman in her mid-20s, full of potential but held back by something invisible, something powerful: fear. She had always been intelligent and driven, with a sharp mind and clear ambitions, but no matter how hard she tried, anxiety seemed to grab hold of her at every turn. Her life was like a series of missed opportunities. She avoided social gatherings, cancelled plans with friends, and stayed in her comfort zone, paralyzed by the thought of judgment, failure, and the unknown. In her career, she would apply for jobs but never attend the interviews, or she would freeze during a presentation, overwhelmed by the fear of making a mistake. Each time, she felt the same overwhelming weight of doubt that told her she wasn't good enough. It was as if fear was her constant companion, one that told her she wasn't capable of achieving anything beyond the status quo. But the tipping point came when Emma received a call for her dream job, an opportunity that could change her life. The company she had admired for years wanted to interview her. For most people, this would be exciting. But for Emma, it was terrifying. The very thought of the interview triggered a rush of panic. Her heart raced, her palms sweated, and her mind flooded with all the reasons why she wouldn't be good enough. She pictured herself walking into the room, stumbling over her words, looking foolish in front of the hiring managers. The fear of judgment, rejection, and failure crept into every corner of her thoughts, making the idea of even showing up seem impossible. Emma had always been told by her friends, especially Sarah, that she was capable, that she just needed to believe in herself. But Emma couldn't shake the feeling that something inside her was broken. Her fear wasn't something she could easily overcome. She tried to push it aside, to ignore it, but it was like a wall that kept getting higher and higher every time she tried to climb it. Sarah, on the other hand, didn't understand the depth of Emma's struggle. She offered her words of encouragement, urging her to take the leap, to seize the opportunity. But to Emma, that leap felt like an insurmountable chasm. Days before the interview, Emma found herself at a crossroads. The pressure built up, and she began to doubt everything. Was she even qualified for the job? What if they saw through her facade and realized she wasn't the person they thought she was? The fear consumed her, making it hard to think clearly, to focus on anything but the overwhelming anxiety. She considered calling the company to cancel, telling them she had changed her mind, but deep down, she knew that would be the easiest way out. Still, the fear made it hard to move forward. One night, sitting alone in her apartment, Emma couldn't ignore the storm of thoughts swirling in her mind. Her fear felt suffocating, as though it had become her identity. She thought about how many other moments in her life she had let slip away because of this same fear. From friendships she never deepened to jobs she never pursued, Emma realized she had been held back by this invisible force for as long as she could remember. It wasn't just about the interview anymore, it was about her entire life. And in that moment, she knew that if she didn't take action soon, she would continue to let fear control her for years to come. The next day, Emma reached out to a mentor she had once worked with, Mr. Collins. He was an older man with years of experience in the industry and had always given her valuable advice in the past. Emma, desperate for some guidance, poured her heart out to him. She explained her fear, the overwhelming anxiety that had been holding her back, and how it was threatening to destroy this opportunity she had worked so hard for. Mr. Collins listened intently, nodding as she spoke, and then he said something that stuck with her: fear is a natural part of the process. It's not about getting rid of it, it's about learning to move forward in spite of it. His words felt like a lifeline. For the first time, Emma realized that she didn't need to be fearless to succeed, she just needed to take action despite the fear. Mr. Collins encouraged her to break down the overwhelming task of the interview into smaller, more manageable steps. Focus on what you can control, he advised. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be you. With newfound determination, Emma took the advice to heart. She spent the next few days preparing for the interview, but this time, she didn't focus on trying to eliminate her anxiety. Instead, she embraced it as a sign that she was pushing her limits. She took small steps each day, writing down what she wanted to say, practicing answers in front of the mirror, and even visualizing herself walking into the room with confidence. It wasn't easy. Every time doubt crept in, she had to remind herself that it was okay to feel anxious. The key was to keep going, even when the fear tried to hold her back. The day of the interview arrived, and Emma was still nervous. But this time, she didn't let the anxiety control her. As she walked into the office, her heart was pounding, but she reminded herself that she was capable. The interview was challenging, but Emma gave her best effort. She answered questions honestly, shared her experiences, and didn't try to hide her nervousness. Surprisingly, her honesty seemed to resonate with the interviewers. They saw her potential, not just her credentials, and by the end of the interview, Emma felt a sense of relief she had never known before. A few days later, Emma received a call from the company. She had gotten the job. The relief was immense, but more than that, she felt a deep sense of pride. Not just because she had succeeded in landing the job, but because she had faced her fears head-on. Emma realized that overcoming anxiety wasn't about being fearless, it was about showing up, despite the fear, and taking one step at a time towards something greater. Reflecting on the experience, Emma realized the lesson was much deeper than just landing a job. The real victory was in the transformation she had undergone. She had learned that fear was a natural part of life, but it didn't have to control her. Fear could be a sign that something important was at stake, and that it was worth pushing through. Emma had discovered her own strength, her ability to take action even when everything inside her screamed to retreat. The moral of her journey was simple but powerful: fear doesn't define you. You are not your anxiety, and you are certainly not bound by it. Growth comes when you stop letting fear dictate your decisions and start making choices that move you forward. Emma knew that her journey wasn't over, there would be other challenges, other fears to face. But now, she knew that she had the power to face them and keep moving forward, one step at a time.